Hello, fellow Rosarians. Thank you for joining me today. We are unboxing from one of my favorite vendors. I have a lot of small businesses that I really enjoy working with, and I love sharing those with you. You're going to receive excellence in customer service. If you have any issues, it's not even a question. You know, they're there to help you and they want you to be happy with your roses. So one of those vendors is Northland Rosarium, and they are kind enough to offer us a discount for Rose Geeks, 10% off. And you can also get a discount through the ARS for 10% off on the Northland site. Look at this dirty dog. Are you going to take her down to the river and let her jump in?
Going down there.
Go on.
Going down.
Crazy doggies. So let's talk about Northland. It's a small family-owned business, and I always talk to Andrew. Andrew is the owner, and it's two people. I think it's him and his mom. And so keep in mind, especially during this busy time of year when you're working with a small business, how many people do they have on staff? Sometimes I'll get a note back saying that somebody couldn't reach one of these small businesses. This is a busy time for them. So we'll cut them a little bit of slack, but I find that even during this busy time, Andrew is very responsive. Miller didn't like that duck down there. Site is very easy to use. There's a picture, description, put it in your cart and you're on your way. This is going to be a band pot, so that's the smallest size that you can get. It's like a 4x4 inch pot, and you can put it right into the ground depending on what time your pot is coming, but a lot of times I'll let it grow. It's maybe a month just to watch it and put it into a larger pot. Keep in mind also, when you get potted roses, that you want to harden them in. You're not going to want to take it right from this box and put it right in the ground, even if you had ideal conditions. You want to take it out of the box, give it some water, and then you're going to slowly acclimate it to your environment. If it's not ideal conditions, for me, I'm still having some nighttime temperatures drop into the 30s, so I keep it in my garage. But when it's time to harden it, I'll know because the temperature will be above 60 degrees even during the night, and I'm going to take it and put it in a shady area in my garden and leave it there for 3 days or so. After 3 days, it's acclimated to the shade. Then you're going to bring it out into the sun for 2 hours, and think of it like a newborn baby, you know, a beach trip in the sun. You're going to want to slowly get it used to the sun. So an hour or two back into the shade, come back out the next day, an hour or two longer, and just get it used to it, because this little baby in here is not used to full sun and the leaves will burn. So that's how you harden it in. So let's talk about what I'm expecting. I'm expecting 5 roses. What do we look for when we are unboxing a potted rose versus a bare root? We are looking to make sure that if it has leaves that are flushing out, sometimes they defoliate them before they send them to you. Just make sure that the leaves look okay, but don't be surprised if they end up with black spot, because that's very normal to get that during shipment because of the humidity in a box. You want to make sure that the soil stayed moist in shipment, and they often have it covered with a plastic bag. We want to make sure that the canes are bright green and healthy looking. Make sure that you get the size that you were promised, that you ordered. In this case, as I mentioned, it's going to be a band size pot. We've ordered from them before. We know that they've got great quality, so I'm just excited to share these with you. So here we are. I have 5 roses. Oh my goodness. It's so pretty. I'm looking at this beautiful color on these leaves right now. It's just, this is going to make me so happy. All right, so let's get in here. He has nice labels on here too, so you don't have to kind of dig into the labels to look at it. Antique Carmel. All dressed up. Johann Strauss. Strike It Rich. and Aloha Hawaii. So let's go ahead and, I mean, I can tell the soil is moist. There's humidity even in the bags, keeping everything nice and moist through shipment. But let's go ahead and take a closer look. Okay, so Andrew has some wet paper towels here to help keep it moist. I'm looking at the canes. These are really a good size. And look at that beautiful red fleshing out with new growth on the leaves. These are just really pretty to look at. Oh, look at this. Oh, so pretty. Oh my goodness. Does this make you guys as happy as it makes me when you see that beautiful new growth? Oh yeah, everything looks beautiful. One more, and then we'll go ahead and get into these varieties. No broken canes. Everything was packed so well. Really nice. Okay, let's get into some varieties really quick. Okay, so let's talk about Strike It Rich. This is a Weeks Rose, and it's deep golden yellow blooms with a touch of orange pink on the edges of the outer petals. A beautiful striking rose, looks good as a bush in the garden and wonderful as a cut flower. The bloom is large and elegantly shaped and has a spicy fragrance. This has good disease resistance, and it was the American Rose Society winner for 2007. Strike It Rich is 4 foot by 4 foot. Johann Strauss is a Mayan. It's large, full, and creamy white with a blush of pink and yellow. The rose has grown in our garden for many years and is one of the most beautiful of roses. It seems to always be in bloom, and it has an apple fragrance. This one's going to go from 3 to 5 foot tall to 3 foot wide. Okay, I got all dressed up. This is a Weeks Rose with beautiful full petals of pink. Its long-lasting, non-fading pink blooms on long stems is great for cutting. It has the classic old-fashioned quartered blooms dress up a room. This is 5 to 6 foot tall, and it has a mild tea to a fresh cut apple fragrance. Okay, the next one I want to share with you is Aloha Hawaii, and I've been looking at this one for a long time. I think that there's an Aloha that's not Hawaii, but this one, if you look at the colors, it's oranges and pinks and ruffly and just so fun to look at. This is a Cortez rose. It's apricot colored with some pink and red shades. It's a very double, and the petals have a somewhat ruffled edge. The bud is reddish orange, and the plant is vigorous with a fruity, sweet fragrance. This is going to grow 8 foot tall, so definitely the back of a border. And I may have even seen that it climbs a little bit, so I'm going to have to look at that and find the perfect place for it. Okay, last one is the Antique Carmel. This is a Cortez rose. It grows 3 foot tall, and it's old-fashioned looking rose of soft yellow with blushes of apricot and tan in the bloom. And it kind of reminds me of Fun in the Sun, if you've seen that rose. So we'll get a look at them when they're in bloom and compare it to my Fun in the Sun and see how different the colors are. All right, so let's talk real quick about the pricing of the site. All of the roses are about $23 on Northland Rosarium's site. Keep in mind you've got that discount through Geek or the discount through ARS. 5 roses at $23 is $115. The shipping for me on 5 roses was $29. So the total is $144 before those discounts that are available. So that discount will take another $14 off. If we look at the rack and stack now for all of the potted plants that we have bought so far, keep in mind Petals from the past is in a 1-gallon pot, but boy are these getting up in size and getting real close to that. Northland Rosarium is right there at $144 for 5 roses. So I think it's a great value, and I really hope that you'll consider ordering from Andrew over at Northland, because you're really going to be happy with the quality of the roses and his customer service. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope this video was helpful, and we'll see you in the next one.